Visualization and GDV. What Professor Korotkov has been shown to be the most effective visualization methods, approaches for rewiring one's brain and fixing one's fields, as well as, maximizing intentional strength that heals others at infinite distance. That is a very important question indeed. And also, how important is the heart and the state of the heart in these results? And also, does the GDV show, or any other form of evidence, that a person's intention can grow stronger, like, with the help of intention from others at a distance? And does it work better while they're awake or luciding, which is also awake? Now also, recalling stuff, primarily in present life, but also past lives and between lives. Does that ever work better for anyone while they are luciding? At the very least, I'm sure it works better when they're meditating than when they're not. Than they're in beta. What brain states are what parts of the brain in most often during remote viewing? Obviously, it's theta. It has to be. What is the energy of crying? How is the heart involved? How much is oxytocin involved in crying? Like, cathartically, not manipulatively. Because I'm sure, since there's a difference in feeling, there's also a difference in the actual hormones and the combination thereof. Whether one is, depending on what one is crying about. Precisely how, sir, does crying for the right things make your torsional intentions work better? Why is that, and how? What parts of the brain are most active during crying that are not as active in any other state? And precisely what is the physiology and the torsiology of reprogramming, redefining an association, especially one that has immense emotional transformative power? And of course, what role does phi play in it? Precisely what does blocked orgone, if it indeed is different than torsion fields in any way, instruct the muscles to cling tight? And the torsional equations in the brain, how are they affected by the blocked orgone anywhere? By torsional equations, I mean associations. How does phi show up in ideal water crystals, in hormones, in colors? How can we know whether we are making and using enough serotonin? Optimal. And that it's being used in all the optimal places, which is actually a redundancy of what I just said. What's the best state of consciousness and time of circadian rhythm to put a magnet on your head or anywhere else? What have the experiments shown? And has the GDV elucidated the geometry of the magnetic fields of different types of magnets? And which hormone is really the most involved in making us feel really, really, optimally euphoric, but also in remembering stuff, including, of course, dreams and past and in between lives? Serotonin, dopamine, or oxytocin? Or is it even another hormone that is overlooked and perhaps not even discovered? Well, that is impossible. What in the fox is levity? And is it more partial to right-handed or left-handed torsion? If it is partial indeed. What does phi have to do with gravity? Everything, obviously, right? Has the GDV truly shown that objects of any sort can be infused with certain energies that differ from one another? That is to say, if two different people project their sentiments onto two of the same object, has the GDV shown that the energies around those two objects are different? And has it even been shown that the energy of that has been infused in consciously into an object is not the same between any two people, or indeed even any two emotions, or combinations thereof? What determines which parts of a sound wave are left or right-handed torsion? And how do sound waves affect each other when they are from the same or different sources, if there is such a thing as different? And how does light affect sound waves? Oh, that's right, OBEs and GDV. How could I have not even thought of that? Does the GDV show that hands are the most powerful energy centers that are the most capable of manipulating energy in a human's various fields, including in the brain for redefining associations and stuff? And is there a fundamental difference between the energies of the left and right hand? Does the GDV prove that? Oh, and does music, rhythms, etc., whether recorded or played out of a speaker or played live with actual instruments and or voices, does they show with the GDV to have different energetic imprinting effects on inanimate and inanimate objects? And by the way, what is it that makes torsion fields waves move so many times faster than light? Of course, that's not really important to know, honestly. Does the GDV actually show that you affect your energy field in meaningful ways by moving your hands over yourself? And how does is the GDV capable of actually discerning differences between individual energy fields? What does the GDV show in terms of how fast or how slow you have to move your hands and whatever else to best affect the fields?